Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out today's video. And guys, excited for today because I'm launching a new little segment, a new little weekly series we're going to do here on Intuitive Angling, and that is Ask Me Anything. Ask me anything you want. Doesn't matter if it's fishing, not fishing, about myself, whatever. I get a lot of comments and a lot of questions about this. I don't have time to answer everything because I get thousands of them every week. But a lot of the interaction I get on my comment section are just comments. They're not actually questions. So what I want to do in today's segment is I went through, just to start the segment out, to start the series out, I went through over my past 7 or 8 videos and I picked out some questions that the subscribers had. So I'm going to answer those questions to start out in today's episode. And in today's episode, guys, drop me, if you have some questions for me, drop them in the comments in today's video. And then my next video that I do on Ask Me Anything, which will probably be once a week, I'll get to those questions there. So we're going to get into that in today's episode and hope you guys enjoy it. Also, guys, a couple quick housekeeping tips before we get started. Just want to invite everybody, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me. You can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat, Professional Angler. Shoot me a private message, and if you get a on-the-water lesson, you can ask me any question you want to. And also, guys, please check out my Fish the Moment Lake Map breakdowns. We got the fall maps up on the site right now. Great resources to learn more about your favorite lake, get some good places to fish this fall. And finally, guys, Founders Day sale on my Solar Bat Series RB2s and RB3s still going on. If you order a pair right now, get them at 30% off. Any purchase or any pair of glasses that you order, you get a free hard case and you get free shipping and handling. Also, if you use the promo code RandyB, capital R, capital B, and you can get them at the link in the Solar Bat link in the description or at my tackle warehouse. So thank you for putting up with that, guys. Okay, the thing about this is going to be sort of fun because, man, I've got about 15% haters on my channel and about 85%, people that like the channel. The haters love to hate, and they're the ones that are probably going to be, you'll know the hater comments when I read them. I'm not going to leave the hater questions out. I'm going to include those as well. And I didn't list in this particular video the call sign or whatever, but I'll probably start listing the call sign and the name of the people that pose these questions moving forward. But all I did today was copy down some comments and questions that I'm going to read back off to you guys. Okay, let's get into this first one. First one, guys, the first one is, why are you such a drama queen? Okay, now obviously this is due to the fact that I do an opinion commentary part on my channel. Probably, 30% of my videos are commentary. And when you're talking about commentary, you're dealing with issues, current events, specific issues. And anytime that you're commenting on something, you're giving yourself an opinion. Now, some people may see that as drama, some people may see that as news, whatever. But my intention on these videos is I'm not trying to create drama. I'm trying to address topics that need to be talked about. A lot of people in the bass fishing industry, they don't want to hear anything about other than what's the best lure to catch a fish on, or how's it going to be easier for me to catch a bass. But the layers of fishing are a lot more complex and diverse as far as the things that affect everything about it. So a lot of the content I have is around bass fishing, and some of that is controversial. Some of it I talk about and I give you guys my opinion on it. Some of it may sound dramatic, some of it may sound not. It's really just based upon your opinion and your worldview, how that is. But I don't consider myself a drama queen, to answer that question. Second question, what's your biggest bass? Biggest bass I ever caught in my life, I did not have a scale on the boat, but I had another person in the boat. I had my Army Ranger buddy, Sergeant Major Rodney Schmolak, with me, who verified this. We were down at Lake Okeechobee practicing for an FLW tournament, and I caught a bass on it was actually a tiki stick, like a soft plastic stick bait, that Rodney and I estimated at 11.5 pounds. Now, I've caught 2 bass over 10.5 pounds that I weighed myself. Rodney had caught a bass about 13 pounds. So we know what a bass over 10 looks like, and we both estimated it at about 11.5 pounds. This was before cell phones and stuff like that, so we didn't have any access to that. Okay, the next one is, Randy, why are you such a hypocrite on technology? Now, this question comes, I've had this question a bunch, and it's because of my stance against the cheater box forward-facing sonar. So I talk about how bad forward-facing sonar is and advancing technology, but I still have electronics on my boat. The electronics I have on my boat come from the factory. I didn't get them. The only thing that I use electronic-wise is two-dimensional sonar and GPS. My position on technology is the fact that there has got to be a baseline. And for me, that baseline should be set at two-dimensional sonar and GPS. Anything above that technology, I consider that a degradation to the sport. So yes, I use two-dimensional sonar. If they still made flashers for a boat, I would have a flasher on my boat. If I had to use an old paper map on my lap like I used to and a compass, I'd do that. But a GPS is very handy for, and there are safety aspects to it. So in myself, I have just sort of set that baseline of two-dimensional sonar and GPS for the technology that I use. So that's, like I said, there's a lot of dudes out there that they think if I'm not fishing out of a dugout canoe with a cane pole that I'm a hypocrite. So just wanted to address that there. Okay, the next one is, how long should I wait before I set the hook? One of the biggest things I talk about on the channel here, guys, is you don't have to set the hook as soon as you feel a strike. In fact, you don't want to do that. It doesn't matter what bait you're using. I don't care if it's a crankbait, a topwater bait, a jig, or a worm. When you get a bite, do not set the hook as quick as you can, like a live nerve ending. What you want to do is you always want to make sure, like if you're fishing a moving bait like that, don't jerk real hard. If you're fishing a moving bait and you get a strike, just start reeling into the fish. And the same way on a slow bait. If you get a bite on a slow bait like a worm, don't, as soon as you feel that, don't like reel down and just jack that fish as hard as you can. If you get a bite on a slow bait, it's like, okay, there's a bite, and you see your line moving out, just tighten up your line and pull into the fish. A good fish is not going to spit out the bait. This whole thing about, well, I didn't set the hook quick enough and he spit it out. That's a myth in fishing. So if anything, guys, take your time to set the hook. You're going to land a lot more fish with that. Okay, the next one is, when are you going to quit whining about Liv Scope? When Liv Scope is made illegal and when Liv Scope is banned is when I'll quit talking about Liv Scope. Now, here's the thing about it, guys, is you can't, and I don't want to go into a big, Liv Scope talk on this, but one of the reasons that I will not keep talking about it is the destruction and how it's degraded our sport. And a lot of people that have a vested interest in anything in life, if there's a vested interest where they're making money off of something, they try to normalize it, and they don't want people to speak out against it and talk about it. But the majority of bass anglers in this country hate forward-facing sonar. They think it sucks. They think it's terrible, which it is. So I'll stop talking about forward-facing sonar when we get it banned from the tournaments. Okay, Randy, how did you meet your hot wife, Kim? Now, Kim, she's 18 years younger than I am. And after I got a divorce, I was married for 15 years and I got a divorce. A couple of years later after that, I got on a dating app. And on this particular dating app, I saw Kim on there. She was from Springfield, I was from Joplin. And the thing that noticed about it, she had pictures on her profile, and she was holding up a smallmouth bass, a northern pike, and a largemouth. And I said, God, there's, good looking girl there that really likes to fish. It's pretty close. So I sent her a message, and one thing led to another, and we got together. But that's how I actually interacted with her, saw her holding up a smallmouth bass in a picture. Okay, if you had just one lure, what would it be? Now, this is a hard one to answer because a lot of that depends on the situation, the time of year, water temperature, water clarity, conditions, that type of deal. But in terms of, I'll answer, there's two answers I'll give you to that. The first one would be, what's my favorite lure to fish? If I wanted to fish my favorite lure from now on, or if I wanted to fish the most productive lure from now on, what would it be? If I had just one lure to fish above anything else and nothing else, anything as far as just for fun fishing, the things that I like to do for fun, it would probably be a jig. I love a jig bite. It's a versatile lure. Caught a ton of big fish on it. Most of the tournaments I've won have been on jigs. So that would be my answer for one lure just to fun fish. If I wanted one lure just to catch fish and get more fish in the boat and survive off the fish that I would catch, it would be a shaky head. A straight-tailed worm, 5 or 6 inch straight-tailed worm on a shaky head would be my lure. That'd be the only lure I'd have there. Okay, the next one is, why do you hate on all the young anglers? I do not hate the young anglers. I've made that clear over and over again on this whole technology thing, that I do not blame the young anglers for having to use it. They have been forced to use the technology. They have been taught to use that technology by the people that taught them how to fish. I do not fault them because they've been put in a position where they have to use it to compete. The blame and if there's any hate involved, it's because it's in the organizations and the entities that have forced this technology on those young kids. Tournament organizations, electronic companies, they're the ones that I attack all the time, and rightfully so. But I do not hate young anglers. I love young bass anglers. I've got a lot of them I communicate with. I'm in communication with a lot of high school and college anglers. I was a young angler. I started out. I have nothing but respect for young anglers. I just feel sorry for I feel sorry for the world of bass fishing that they are in right now, because they are in a world of bass fishing that has been diminished from the greatness of what bass fishing is through the technological advancements that they're forced to use. Okay, and finally, what is the easiest way, for the last one today I'm going to answer, what is the easiest way to become better at bass fishing? I'll give you a simple one on this. The easiest way to let me answer that twice. I'll give you the easiest, quickest way, and then the easiest way that's going to give you long-term success. The easiest way to become a better bass fisherman and catch more bass is to be a master expert caster. I'm talking about knowing how to cast ambidextrously, left-handed, right-handed, underhand, sidearm with both arms, pitching and flipping accurately, skipping, being adept with a spinning outfit and a bait caster. If you can master the art form of casting, there is nothing that's going to help you become a better angler quicker than being a master at casting. That's number one. The number two thing is going to make you quicker is become a student of the bass and spend your time focusing on seasonal patterns, bass movement, bass behavior. That's going to give you a foundation that will allow you to locate and find bass quickly without the aid of artificial destructive technology. So that would be my answer to that. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in for the first Ask Me Anything. Send your questions in this video here, and I'll get to them next week. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk later.